Well, it's been a while. It's been actually 3 months since I've uploaded a video, and I just want to make sure I'm back and consistent because there's just been a lot of things going on in my life that has been very stressful and it's taking a big toll on me. But now I can start getting back into the videos. I don't want to go into what's been happening to me. But I'm glad to be back on my channel and making videos again. Um, but I've always wanted to talk about this topic ever since Mario Odyssey dropped. Now, I've owned the Switch since day one, so I've played Zelda extensively. I've played Mario pretty much all the way to the end. I got about 280 stars. Sorry, I can't say stars, moons. So I feel like I've had my fair share with Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild. I've played that more than pretty much any game this year. So both of them are extremely good games, and I believe they're both easily candidates for Game of the Year. I don't think there's a definitive choice, but I do believe they both deserve to be number one, depending on your taste. You know, some people are more of Mario fans, some people are more Zelda fans, and some people hate them both because, there's always haters out there for Nintendo. But it just comes down to the people that really appreciate what great games are being developed this year, and there's a lot of games. I'll tell you what. There is, later on I'm gonna make my own, top 10 or top 5 games of this year. But this is a separate video. I just want to talk about Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Now, with Mario Odyssey, I honestly wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. To be honest, it's super in depth. There's some really clever puzzles and tricks that are going on in that game that really make you think. And what's great about it is it's great for the adult audience, like the classic Mario lovers, especially the 3D ones with Mario Sunshine 64. And it's great for newcomers as well. It can be a little intimidating, I would say, if it's for the younger audience, but it does work fine. I'd say you can get through the game pretty easily, especially the boss battles. They are pretty simple, except for there's I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but there's one boss battle that really got me. Mario Odyssey is extremely solid. But the thing to me is, it does have a lot of content in terms of collecting all the stars, 100%ing the game. It could take you maybe 100 hours or more. And that is a lot considering it's a Mario game. Mario games are typically short, even if you're 100%ing them. They're typically very short, because, it's just a platformer and that. Yeah, this is an action-adventure sort of Mario game, but it's still the same principle. So you have that where you got a limited space to sort of collect items and that. But very clever, every single square inch of those maps in Mario Odyssey are used to perfection. There's no wasted space at all, and that's probably the best part about Mario Odyssey. There's no wasted space on those maps, so there's absolutely plenty of things to do. So both of these games excel in the open world, and open world probably my favorite type of landscape in the game. I'm not too much of a fan of a linear experience, but a linear experience could work much better with a story-based game, which Mario Odyssey isn't really, and Breath of the Wild is. To an extent, Breath of the Wild, that's one of my complaints for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is that, there wasn't too much of a story going on. It was more so, Ganon's the threat, and you need to take this guy out. And a lot of people complained that Ganon was kind of weak as a villain. I wouldn't say he's weak, but he wasn't expressed in the way people wanted him to be expressed. I like to think of Ganon in Breath of the Wild as Sauron from Lord of the Rings, where you don't actually see Sauron in his actual real form or whatever, but he's there, he's a threat, he's watching all the time, and he's the most powerful being in that world, you know, besides Link, of course. But you know he's a threat, and we know the story. We don't need another repeated Ganondorf returns. I liked how they didn't use Ganondorf in this game. I like how they went with, you know, the classic Beast Ganon. But I could go in on the story. This isn't about the story of Breath of the Wild. But that's one of the flaws I would say Breath of the Wild had, and everything else seemed pretty damn good. Breath of the Wild gameplay I think is just perfect. Mario is perfect for what it is, what it has to offer in terms of Mario, because you know Mario doesn't do that much, you know. Link, he doesn't have that many items compared to previous titles, so that could be another complaint. That doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's all about the gameplay mostly. So the gameplay is nailed in both games. I cannot complain about the gameplay at all in both games. They seem to be perfect in both genres that they're in, and for the series that they're in, they nailed it. So like a pat on the back for both of those games, for all the people who worked on it. Amazing, both of them. Now, it's a tough decision to say which game is actually better objectively, so it just comes down to opinion. There's no real answer, no right answer. Obviously I'm gonna choose Zelda because I'm a bigger Zelda fan than Mario. I love Mario, but I'm not really a big, huge Mario fan. I'm a Mario fan, of course. Like, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're a Mario fan. And if you're a Nintendo fan, you say you're sick of Mario, you might as well sell your Switch, because you're gonna get a lot of Mario. You might get a lot of Zelda too. The Wii U got a lot of Zelda. Anyway. But yeah, I think Zelda just has more to offer, like, in terms of, you know, adventuring and exploring, like, this huge world that they, you know, made for us in 5 years, more than 5 years, maybe, this development time. And you got Odyssey. Odyssey, you know, it might have, I don't know how long Odyssey would have been made for. I'd say maybe it's in development for 2 years. To be honest, you might think that's crazy, but honestly, I think 2 years is plenty of time to make that game. Brainstorm all the ideas that they had. You know, Nintendo have a lot of creative minds and teams going on when they develop these games. And they had all that time to make Zelda, and they've probably, the people who were making Zelda with everyone were probably making Mario as well, so they had all the new staff maybe or something creating both games. Anyway, it worked out great, perfect, and honestly, you, as a Nintendo fan, you can't ask for a better year than this. You got a new console, you got a new damn console, and you got two of the probably the most amazing games ever created. Completely opinion based. It's definitely the best games of this generation, I can tell you that. Mario Odyssey, my favorite, is definitely my favorite Mario game. Without a doubt, it is absolutely amazing. So much things to do and explore in it. Not like, you know, there are other Mario games, they have a lot of things to do, especially 64 and that. But this just nails it, like, there's just so much to do. And the characters are interesting and everything. The worlds are interesting. Zelda's the same. They really expressed all the different areas that were shown throughout the Zelda series, and made it into one big open world. And I think it's the biggest open world I've played. Very close to Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is my favorite Wii U game. Not just because of the open world, like, I just love Xenoblade so much. I mean, I'm loving Xenoblade 2 right now. It's just, it was absolutely mind-blowing when I saw it. I wasn't expecting it to be that big before I played it, and then I explored the whole map, and it's just incredible what you can do in that game. I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything, but just a very solid overall. I think the only thing lacking in Zelda is maybe the story, but you know, gameplay is always key when it comes to games. Always. Gameplay rules or overall. Music was a little weaker in this Zelda game, but I think that's what they were going for. They weren't going for a full soundtrack. They're going for more of the, the ambience in the background and stuff with the birds chirping, and the horse music and that. But if you're looking for music, Mario Odyssey nails it. Absolutely nails it. Mario Odyssey has a damn great soundtrack. Definitely up there. And especially with what is it? Jump Up Superstar. That is a beautiful song. Not into the whole jazz sort of stuff, but it really is quite a joy to see that type of music added to a game in this generation, because let's be honest, this generation was all about making edgy titles and stuff, to try and appeal to those people, because unfortunately kids are into mobile games and the free-to-play stuff, and that's just how it is. So you got to sort of appeal to your actual fan base. I digress. I got to stick to the topic. They're both amazing games. I can't pick objectively one to be better, but I choose Zelda because there's just so much more things to do in it. In my opinion, I feel like I get dragged into it for more longer playtime hours. And overall, just both experiences are amazing. So you gotta tell me what you think is the better game, in your opinion, or objectively speaking. Or maybe you like one better and then you objectively think the other one is actually better. Just tell me what you think. Don't forget to go in depth in the comments. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.